Good morning, everyone. This is Nivedha Lakshmanan, and I am a software engineer at CAT Software, and I have around 2 years of experience in this field. And today we'll see about Azure Databricks and what's been released recently, and what is going to be coming in the next release. And we'll see a small introduction about Delta Lake and a small demo on it. So before we get into what's been released, we'll just come to know about Databricks. So it is just an Apache Spark based analytics platform. That means the Apache Spark is an open source framework where this Apache Spark is combined with Microsoft Azure to give us Azure Databricks. So the Apache Spark has so many core technologies. So those core technologies can be used in a fast and a easy manner in Azure Databricks. Basically, Azure Databricks is an ETL tool. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So we'll just extract the data from a source, and we'll do some kind of transformation if it is required, and then we'll load it in a destination. And as I said, it is an Apache Spark based analytics platform. It runs on top of Apache Spark. Databricks runs on top of Apache Spark. So these are all the features that is being released recently. So the first one is AAD authentication with REST API. Azure Active Directory authentication is being provided with REST API now. It is in public preview. To get the authentication, you can use any of the ways. So first way is you can use an Active Directory authentication library, ADAL library, in your REST APIs programmatically and to get the access token. The second thing is you can define a service principal in your AD and then provide that service principal inside your Azure Databricks to get the access for your workspace. The second thing is Databricks Pool. Databricks Pool is completely to reduce the cluster's start time. For example, you have a cluster that is being connected to a pool. That will take a little time to get started. Whereas a cluster which is connected to a pool will start instantiated very soon, so that we don't have to delay. So how it actually reduces the cluster start time is the pool will have the idle resources, idle instances with the pool. What the cluster will do, it goes and gets the instance from the pool. So for example, the pool has no idle resources. What it does is the pool gets expanded by itself, getting a new instance from an instance provider and give it to the cluster. So cluster will get the instance immediately and get started. So that is why we say Databricks Pool reduces cluster's start time. So next once the cluster is done with the work, then it returns the instance to the pool back, so that the clusters that are attached to a pool will use the instances. The next thing is Databricks container services. So in this, we'll just specify a Docker image when you create a cluster. Okay, so it is like you have to build your own Docker image by using the software. Once you have built your base image, you will just push that base image to a Docker container, Docker registry. Then you need to copy the URL that you have, and you have to launch it along with your cluster. So in launching your cluster, you can do it by two ways. One is via your Azure portal, the other one is via your API. So if you want to launch it via your Azure portal, when you create a cluster, you will get a form, right? So in that form, you will have a checkbox asking use your own Docker image. If you click that, you can give your Docker image URL at the base to below that checkbox, and you can proceed with that. So to use this container services, you need to have certain requirements. The one is the Databricks runtime should be 6.1 or above that, and you need to enable Databricks container services in your Databricks workspace, and in your machine you should have the latest Docker daemon, and as you know, we install a new software, we'll connect it to an environment variable, right? So the same way you need to connect that to to your path. Next is the fourth thing that they have said is Databricks Runtime 7.0 beta version is up now. They have come along with Apache Spark 3.0. It is in a preview mode. You can use, if you want to use Apache Spark 3.0 preview, you can use it along with Databricks Runtime 7.0. It is in beta version now. And next is Azure Databricks Autoloader. What this Autoloader does is it loads the efficiently loads the files into a Delta Lake to process it. So, for example, we have a blob storage or a data lake storage. What this data lake storage is, it keeps on getting new data files, right? When we are doing something. So when it is arriving the storage account, cloud storage account, what it does is this autoloader will create a notification service and will say that to the data lake that the new file has arrived the cloud storage. So in order to use this, you need to have a requirement of Databricks Runtime 6.0 or above. So it is kind of like a queue, right? So if you have a queue, you'll be posting a message to the queue. Once the message is set inside the queue, the queue trigger will pick up the message and do the function that it wants to do, right? The same way, this autoloader, without setting up any additional things from our side, it does this does the same thing. Okay. Next is tag propagation for workspaces, pools, and clusters. So in order to monitor your cost and the usage that I've been using, we'll just tag the resources. For example, if you are creating a workspace, what you will do, you will just create your workspace with the tag workspace. If you're creating a cluster, you'll tag that as a cluster. So at the end of the month, when you are paying a Azure bill, you will come to know that you have spent this much amount on workspaces, so this much amount on clusters. So in order to monitor the cost and the usage that you have been done, in order to do that only, this tag propagation. Next is the main thing that they have released in this is Delta Lake. They have released Delta Lake 0.6.0. It is in public preview. Delta Lake is nothing but an open source storage layer, which you know Data Lake, right? Data Lake is kind of a blob storage, which has some kind of reliability issue. So in order to bring reliability to the data lake, that's where Delta Lake comes into the picture. So as I said, it brings reliability to the data lake, then it runs on top of the data lake. So Apache Spark, data lake, and then the Delta Lake. So this Delta Lake is compatible with all the Spark APIs, and we'll explain you what actually it is. So there will be a raw format. For example, we'll take a CSV file or a JSON file. We'll put that file into a Delta Lake. That is where the Delta Lake itself will convert the formats into a Parquet format. Okay. So inside the Delta Lake, it will be in a Parquet format. Once it is in a Parquet format, in order to improve the performance, we'll convert it into a Delta format by using the command dataframe.write.format. We should convert it to a Delta format here. So once you have converted into a Delta format, we'll have so many benefits, right? So converting from one format to another format for some benefits. So here are the benefits. The first one is ACID transaction. As you all know, ACID stands for atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, right? So ACID transaction, so if there is a system, we'll do so many mergers, so many updates, create everything, right? We'll do that concurrently. We don't have to wait after one create only, we have to do one merge. No, not like that, right? So we'll do that concurrently. So in order to do that, the data lake has some kind of reliability issues, some kind of data failure issues. So that is where this asset transaction has come into the picture. For the data lake, we can do it concurrently. Concurrently. There is a complete isolation level for each and every data. The second thing is efficient upset. I've said you, like, you can merge and update efficiently in this. Next is the schema enforcement. So when you are loading a file into a Delta Lake, that will itself will recognize what are all the data fields that is there inside the file, and put that schema and put it in a separate JSON file. What the schema enforcement does is, whenever you create a new row to a file that is already there, that will validate and check the schema, whether you have given all the schemas, all the columns that is there inside the schema. So it checks. Okay, for example, you have a file with 5 columns, then you are trying to insert a column with you are trying to insert a row with 4 columns, then it doesn't accept. Okay, it just rejects your request and gives you the exception also. So that is where the schema enforcement and schema evaluation has been a part of this Delta Lake. Next is time travel. A time travel is nothing but I said we'll do so many inserts and so many modifications, right? So so for every modification, we'll have a version connected with it. Okay. So for example, if you are adding a Parquet file, if you are adding a file, then you will have that as an version 1. If you are doing some changes, that will be as version 2. So if you want to revert the changes that you have done, you can go back, you can roll back to the earlier version and get the earliest check-in that you have done. So that is where this time travel works. Next is file comparison. File comparison and Z-order partitioning are the main ones that is specifically used in this Azure Databricks. What this file comparison does is, for example, we'll take a class, okay, we'll take a 12th standard or any grade. In that we'll have so many sections, right? So each and every section will have some like minimum amount of students in it. But I just want to know a particular student's details. Okay, so that we'll assume that the person is in D section or something. Okay. So what we'll do is, like, we'll go through all the A section records, then B, then C, and then D. So it takes you are linearly searching, right? So in order to do a large search, what this file compaction does is, it merges all the smaller files into a larger ones, and with this file comparison connected with the Z order will tell you, like, where that the student where the student details are there. Okay, so we'll check that in the demo what exactly I mean. And these are all the things that is going to be coming in the next release. They are going to give us the US government cloud preview and China cloud preview. And there is a certification called FedRAMP, and they are going to create a private link between a web app and the API, and they are going to give us the authentication for Power BI as well. So we'll just get into the demo. Okay. So I've just created the cluster already. You need to create a cluster using this one, create cluster, and if you want to use any specific services, you need to give the runtime as well. So here are the things. So you need to connect it to a pool. So I have done it already, and I'll just straight away get into the workspace that I've. Okay, this is the demo that is being done in the Microsoft Build 2020. I am just posting this link in the comment section, so that you can work and see. And now this is the Databricks data sets, that is the data set that is being given by Johns Hopkins. And this data sets are, I'm just listing down the data set using this command. I'm just going to run it. Okay, here are the data sets available. And then what this COVID slash ETL does is it just ingest, merge, and clean the data. For example, if you are getting a data file, you don't need all the columns, right? So you will do some kind of cleaning, right? So that is what this COVID hyphen ETL does. So it is a separate notebook in the workspace. So I'll just run this one. It takes a bit time, so I've did it already. And now I'm just going to, I have created a table for that also. So after cleaning it up, I have put it in a table called JHU _ daily _ COVID. So in this notebook, you can use anything. You can use Spark, you can use Python. So if you want to use SQL, this is a Python notebook, but still I'm using a SQL command by using %SQL. So when I'm running this command, it gives us the modified data or the clean data. It takes a bit time. So in this is the COVID-19 report. So this has the country, region, and the confirmed cases and the death cases. So here we are getting all this, right? So this is the cleaned up data. The next thing that we are going to see is like we'll get the total confirmed cases and the death cases for a particular area, for a area that is, we are going to get it for Washington, and we are going to get it along with the date. Okay, so I'm just going to run this. So in this, if you want to have a graph, this Databricks itself given us some predefined charts. So you can use whatever you want. I've just used the bar diagram just to get the confirmed cases and the death cases with respect to the date. Okay, for a particular region. Next is we are going to calculate the cases or confirmed cases or the death cases for 1 lakh people. Okay, so in order to get that, we are just getting it for 1 lakh people, and we are getting the report. For example, if there is 1 lakh people and out of 1 lakh people only 1 people is confirmed, then we should have that report also, right? So for that, so yes, it's been executed, I guess. Okay, now it is being executed, and now then we'll see with the time. Okay, we need to know the time also. For example, in India, the COVID-19 has started in the month of March, right? So we have to know the first date that the pandemic has started. Okay, so we'll just get the data along with the date. Okay, so first we are normalizing it with the people. Okay, so the cases per 1 lakh people. Now we are normalizing the data with the date. Okay, so once this gets executed, okay, So this prepare hyphen chart is a separate notebook in this workspace. This will give us the kind of a map-like structure with the confirmed cases per 1 lakh people, as well as with the time zone. For example, day with respect to the day number. For example, the first date on March 12th, then on March 12th, the confirmed cases are 2. So that is where this report gives us. So one second, it is just fetching. It is preparing a chart for us. For this, you have to use Altair, ALTAIR library. You need to install it in the browser and then add the library to the Databricks workspace. Okay, so this is the this is the confirmed cases in the place. Okay, so we can even reduce and see how it works. So on day 1, the cases are bit low. On date 125, it is bit low. So that is where this chart gets into the picture. So next is like what we, if you have seen the before queries, there would be okay, we'll see this. Now what we are doing is like, now we are just getting a parquet file and doing some things, right? So in order to get the performance improvement, we'll just do this. Okay, we are just getting the we are just selecting the columns from this view, and we are just converting the format to a delta format, and we are just overriding it, right? And we are partitioning by the by state. Okay, and it's been saved in this location as well. So we are just converting the data set into a delta format. Now what we are going to do is we are going to do two things. One is file compaction, and then second thing is Z order. So here what we do is we are going to create a new table with the different name. Using delta will be a delta, will be in a delta format, and we are giving the location that is given here. Okay, next we are going to optimize this. We are just going to compact all this with a Z order by process date. So with respect to the process date, we are going to optimize it. We are going to get the performance improvement. Okay, I'm just going to run. I don't know whether it takes a bit extra time. Now we are converting the normal table to a delta table. You see the next command. In the meantime, it will get executed. And the next is, as I said, it is going to optimize and optimize by using a Z order partitioning. Okay, so in the Z order, it uses a data skipping algorithm where it skips the large amount of data. It directly goes to the place where the actual data resides. Okay. Same way we used to have linear order search, right? We'll search one by one. This Z order will not do like that. It will go in a zigzag manner to get the data. I'm just going to optimize and partition with Z order. it gets executed. Before then, I'll go. It is getting executed. This JHU underscore daily underscore pop underscore delta lake will be in a delta format, so that will give us the result in a faster manner. So if once this query gets executed, I'll run this query and show you like how fast it is. In the meantime, I can post it in the chat window. Okay, this got executed. Now it is converted into a delta format, and we have optimized by using a Z order. Now we'll run this query. So it has taken around 1 second. So if you run it again, it gets reduced. Okay, so that is where the delta lake performance has improved so much. They are saying it is around 20x speed up. As my system is very slow, it is executing in 1 second. And then we'll look the query that we have done without delta, right? So that table is JHU underscore daily underscore pop, right? So I'll just execute this query as well, so that you will come to know how much time the delta's performance has improved. So this has taken around 10.24 seconds, and this has taken just one second. Okay, so it is quite a big improvement, right? So that's all. The demo is done, and just going back to my PPT. That's all we have. I'll just summarize what and all we have seen today. We have seen about Azure Databricks, a brief introduction about it, and we have seen what and all is being released recently and what is going to be coming in the next release. And we have seen in detail about Delta Lake and its benefits, and we have seen a small demo on it. That's all from my side.